Jisuk looked at Jiwoo and asked if he was really asking what they thought about non-awakened people. Jiwoo nodded and explained. He said that recently he had a chance to hear how some awakened people viewed non-awakened individuals, and when he thought about it, he realized he had never actually heard what Jisuk, or awakened organizations in their own country, thought about it. He wondered to himself quietly whether they would be offended by a question like that. The group looked at him for a moment. Subin was the first to respond. She said they didn't really separate them. In fact, she explained, they were educated under strict instructions that they had to hide the fact that they were awakened, so they were raised alongside non-awakened students from the beginning. Jisuk agreed. Wooin then said that his master had also told him to live while mixing with ordinary people. That was the reason he had gone to a regular school as well. Jiwoo smiled hearing that. Subin then added something more serious. She said she had heard that in countries where awakened influence was stronger, things were very different. Most awakened people there thought of themselves as special and were even educated separately from non-awakened students. Jiwoo asked, special? Just because they had awakened abilities? Subin said that was part of it, but more precisely, those awakened believed they had evolved further than regular humans. Because of that, most of them tended to look down on non-awakened, or something along those lines. Jisuk then turned to Jiwoo and said he was sure Jiwoo had experienced it himself. Even among awakened, he said, people were divided into strict hierarchies based on strength alone. So it wasn't hard to imagine how they viewed non-awakened. Jiwoo went quiet after hearing that. His mind drifted back through everything he had experienced, in school, and everything he had come to learn about Frame and what that organization truly stood for. Subin noticed and told him not to think about it too seriously. Everyone could have different opinions, she said. Jiwoo replied simply that he understood. Then Jisuk said he would be heading off. Jiwoo asked if he was leaving already. Jisuk said yes. He had been told to rest and not move around too much until he fully recovered. Jiwoo said he understood. Jisuk caught the looks on everyone's faces and told them not to look at him like that. He said he was really fine. No one responded. They all stayed quiet, knowing what was going on beneath the surface. Jisuk turned around and waved his hand as he said he would get going first. Kartein, Kartein, and Pluton watched from the roof as he walked away. Even from a distance, there was something a little sad about his expression. Subin said quietly that even though he looked like that on the outside, he was probably burning inside. She said if she were told she could no longer use her awakened abilities, she would feel like dying. That comment hit Jiwoo differently. He remembered the conversation he had with Kartein before. He asked, caught off guard, was Kartein saying that Jisuk couldn't use his awakened abilities anymore? Kartein confirmed it. He said what had been injected into Jisuk was a dangerous drug with such severe side effects that it had been banned. It had been modified, he said, but the core substance was the same. Jisuk's body might look fine on the surface right now, but the moment he tried to use his awakened powers, everything would spike out of control. Jiwoo asked if Kartein hadn't fixed everything. Kartein said he had done what he could, but even though Jisuk's body looked normal on the outside, using awakened power still affected him. They had removed as much of the drug as possible, but it wasn't completely gone. Jiwoo asked what they were supposed to do then. Kartein said the only option left for Jisuk was to avoid using his awakened abilities as much as possible. Even if he looked fine now, the moment he used his power, he could end up incapacitated at any time. Jisuk's life was hanging in the balance between using his abilities and not using them. Jiwoo stood there, saddened, as that reality settled over him again. Wooin spoke up and asked if they should consult his master. Jiwoo repeated the name, Drive. Delane. Wooin said yes. Subin asked the question everyone was thinking. She said she knew Wooin's master was skilled, but if even Kartein couldn't fully cure him, would it really be possible for someone else? Wooin had no answer. Then a voice came from behind them. It said, not a bad idea. They all turned. It was Kartein. He said that while he specialized in treating people using awakened healing abilities, something involving drugs like this might actually be better handled by someone else. That Delane guy, he said, had seemed quite skilled the last time he had seen him. Everyone went still. It was the first time any of them had ever heard Kartein praise someone like that. They wasted no time. The group made their way to the research center. Delane greeted them with a look of mild surprise. He asked if they had really come all this way, asking him to examine Jisuk. Wooin said yes. Delane paused, then said he was sorry to disappoint them, but as talented as he was, it wasn't as though he could do something that even Kartein couldn't. Jiwoo then told him that Kartein was the one who suggested they come to him. That stopped Delane in his tracks. He asked, "What?" Jiwoo explained. He said Kartein had told them that while he himself specialized in healing with awakened abilities, he wasn't as strong when it came to side effects related to drugs. He had said Dr. Delane might actually be better suited for something like this than he was. Dr. Delane looked genuinely surprised. Wooin added that he had heard it too, directly from Kartein himself. Dr. Delane stood quietly for a moment, thinking to himself about Kartein. Then he turned around and said, "Well, if that was the case, he would take a look." Jiwoo bowed his head and thanked him. The scene then shifted to the Awakening Association. Jiyoung had heard the news. She said that Jisuk was being examined by Dr. Delane. Inhyuk confirmed it. He said Kartein had recommended it, that this kind of thing might actually be better handled by Dr. Delane. Jiyoung's expression mixed both surprise and worry as she heard that. At the hospital, Jisuk went through a full round of examinations using various machines, with Dr. Delane overseeing everything. By evening, the group had gathered together inside, all standing as Dr. Delane finally walked in to address them. He said that based on the test data they had provided him and the additional tests he had run here, what Jisuk had was similar to something he had dealt with before. He said honestly, he had handled this kind of case quite often. Everyone looked at each other in surprise. Jiwoo asked immediately, then did Delane think it could be treated? Delane replied that it wasn't impossible. There was a neutralizing agent for it. The room filled with a wave of relief. For a brief moment, it felt like everything might be okay. Then, Delane's expression shifted. He said, but that neutralizing agent was in the possession of Frame. The relief vanished just as quickly as it had come. Everyone stood there in stunned silence, the weight of those words settling over the room. Getting that neutralizing agent might be impossible.